Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, okay, it's daylight savings time now. So we've got darkness during the day, but then daylight during the night. Okay. Today we're looking at 10 High bourbon whiskey, blended bourbon whiskey, okay? Or bourbon whiskey, a blend. 10 High's been on the market since 1935, I think. It's a sour mash Kentucky blended bourbon whiskey, and it's bottled in Owensboro, Kentucky, Bardstown, Kentucky, and Los Angeles, California. It was Hiram Walker's 10 High, but they got bought out by Barton, who was bought out by Sazerac. There may have been some other ownership in between that. A lot of sediment in here. I've noticed that with Sazerac. A lot of sediment. Versus Speckled American whiskey. Fairly good amount of sediment in this one. All throughout, little white specks. I don't know what that is. Maybe some whiskey experts know. Some will be crystal clear, and then these two have sediment. I'm not a whiskey expert. I'm just a taster and a part-time reviewer. Okay, so from 1935, from 2017. Well, look at the appearance. Speckled is much darker. Much darker. Amber as opposed to gold. They're both 80 proof. This one's sour mash, this one is not. This one is aged at least 3 years. 51% straight bourbon whiskey, 49% grain neutral spirits. So it's almost all corn, because straight bourbon has to be at least, bourbon has to be at least 51% corn. And then the grain neutral spirits is almost always made from corn. Doesn't have to be. It could be any vegetable matter, and you're just going to keep distilling it until it's nearly 100% alcohol. You're just using that organic matter as a base, but they usually use corn. Bill McIntosh says, "Morning, Ronald. I was just thinking about you, Bill. Good morning." I said, I wonder if Bill's going to join us for Cutty Sark. The examination of Cutty Sark on Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. I hope so, because we've been missing Bill. STTH, 10 High. Okay. Whew. Now, Speckled Tail is aged at least 4 years. It could be 5, 6, but it's at least 4. It's bottled in Bill's state, Florida. Not Bill's home state, but Bill's state, current state. So many Floridians, are not from Florida. All right. Not rated as a bourbon, because I guess they age it in used barrels up there in, I think, Indiana. I don't know that. I just suspect that. It doesn't say distilled in Florida. It says bottled in Florida. Even this one, the 10 High, doesn't say distilled, but we know it doesn't have to say that because it says Kentucky bourbon whiskey. So that's part of the labeling law. If it says Kentucky, that means it has to be distilled in Kentucky. Now this thing says American whiskey. It means it's distilled somewhere in America. So you got 50 choices. Bill says, I won't be joining. Uh-oh. My equipment is jacked up. As soon as I get a fix installed, I'll be hanging out. Oh, okay. Amazing. Anos McNazik says, where is William Kepley? Oh, he's been doing hangouts. If you've been watching Tyler Mansell and Thomas Meadow Massachusetts Beer Reviews. He's done a good deal of hangouts. I haven't been. I have not been because, well, I don't like sour beers too much. So they were doing sour beers. And I said, what am I going to contribute for an hour and a half or an hour talking about sour beers? It's aside from saying I don't really like them. And then I've been at a lot of college baseball games. So this time of the year, I'm not on too many hangouts, except for these Dawn Busters. There's no games at 6:30 in the morning. Okay, so it's obvious from appearance which is which, Tin High and Speckled Tail. Now, which am I going to be able to tell them apart? I think so, and I'll tell you why. Oh, what about price point? $10.79 at Walmart, and I checked a bunch of different Walmarts, and it's always the same price, $10.79. So they just have a standard price, okay? Tin High is about $9.99 to $10.99, depending where you go. It's cheaper if you get the 1,750 milliliter, 1.75 liter plastic handle bottle. About $15.99. Okay, so it's inexpensive bourbon. At Walmart, Mathern's, Winn-Dixie, it's everywhere. Tin High is very common in Louisiana. I don't know about your state, but it's like one of the common items down here. It must be popular because it's always in every store. You know, if they don't sell, they don't last. Generally, they get, you know, it's so weird. I was looking for Sierra Nevada Torpedo yesterday. Well, nobody hardly sells it anymore around here. Sierra Nevada is kind of like gone down, down, down in popularity around here, because of all the Louisiana craft beers. Okay, I went to Red, White, and Brew in Hammond on U.S. Highway 190 eastbound, downtown Hammond. Go in there. Oh, look, Sierra Nevada Torpedo, bunch of 6-packs on the top shelf. I reach up, they're covered with dust. Look, believe me, we talk about this all the time. These beer stores, forget it. They are not going to check dates. Mathern's is pretty good about it. Like, they'll go through it and then they'll show up in the discount basket. Okay, so I'll pull that bottle out there. I'll say, let me see the date. Took my glasses off because I can't see with my glasses there. It's too close up. So I said, January 2017. That was the bottle date. January of 2017. I stuck it right back on the shelf. I said, golly, what a joke. So I bought Maximus instead because they're doing a double IPA hangout on Tyler's channel next Friday. Double IPA examination. I think I can join that. I said, well, $1.99 for Maximus, probably $1.79 at Rouse's, but I wasn't at Rouse's. You can't beat Lagunitas's prices for what you get. There's no way. And now that Heineken bought them, it's even cheaper. So just can't win. You just can't beat them. On with this. Just thought I'd bring it up as an aside. Oh, talking about the big handle bottles, there's a straight, not blended. There's a straight bourbon whiskey called Tom Moore. Real old brand. I have to check the trademark date, but it's probably from the 1800s. Tom Moore. Used to be some company, you know, same old story. Some independent Kentucky company got bought out, blah, 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 under the Sazerac umbrella today. Albertsons, I'm telling you right now, nobody, first of all, pretty much nobody can beat Albertsons whiskey or just liquor selection. Maybe Dornex. Yeah, Dornex. Okay. Around here in Louisiana, Albertsons, nobody can touch them. And the prices are like great. They have all these sales. Like Albertsons always has these great sales. Now the normal price isn't too good. They're a little pricey on like regular things like beer. Like, why would I pay that much? But when they do their sales, oh man. So the Tom Moore, they said clearance, 25% off. And it was $11.99, $11.99 for that 1,750 milliliter bottle. Almost bought it, but I said, nah. I'm getting tired of bourbon anyway, so I'm sure it's nice and everything, but and it would be something just to get. I'm trying to close the bourbon out for now, not forever, for now. So why would I buy another one and have to go through this whole thing again? So I said, no, I'll wait. But I have heard a few statements from people saying, oh yeah, that's good stuff, Tom Moore. They don't even sell it except for in one configuration. According to the Sazerac product list, they say they only sell it in those big plastic handle bottles. So that's all I know. All right. Now, back to this. I think I'll be able to tell this because of the sourdough. And Sazerac tends to have a higher rye content. I think that'll be the tipping point. Now, it can be difficult sometimes. You know, Speckled Tail is not technically a bourbon, but essentially it's a bourbon. You know, essentially it is. Just technically, legally it isn't because of they're aging it in used barrels, but that's okay. In a practical sense, it won't matter, I don't think. But if you're looking to be a cheapskate on bourbon, and we're talking about straight bourbon, you might find Tom Moore. Maybe they're getting rid of it. Probably just Albertsons is getting rid of it. You know, it might have been a slow mover. So they figured, because it's normally like $16.99, I think, and then they're selling it for $11.99. Okay, it smells like whiskey. There's a little spice in the nose, sweetness, flowers, dried flowers. You know, these bourbons tend to. No, I didn't say anything about, they tend to be similar. I didn't say anything about grits, though, corn grits. We had grits yesterday with hogshead cheese on them. And then my father had this idea he wanted to have smoked sausage also. I said, why are you eating smoked sausage with hogshead cheese? He said, I'm just no good. That's why, because I'm a no good person. I said, I didn't say that. I'm just saying it seems strange to double up the meat. Okay. The hogshead, both were very good though. Yeah, I didn't say much about grits. Now, okay, whoa. These are not alike at all in the aroma. I mean, let's see if I can describe this. Okay. Checking the time because I can't hang around here too long because I got some tasks to accomplish. This is much more sugary sweet. Sugary. Spicy, sugary, and okay, you see, it's starting to make recollections, you know. This smells sourdough, like sourdough bread. This has got to be 10 high. This has got to be Speckled Tail. So as far as price, they're about even, so that wouldn't really be a consideration. So you wouldn't shop price with these. You would just shop taste. Unless you wanted a big bunch of it, then you get the 10 high with the handle. I don't think Speckled Tail comes with the plastic handle jug. I hadn't seen it. I knew it comes in a 375 milliliter glass bottle. I saw that on the Walmart.com website. They just don't happen to sell it here in that vessel. Okay, taste. Yeah. You start to get the corn grits there and a little sourdough bread and that bulk. You say bulk. What does bulk taste like? You know, it just tastes like filler, like a neutral, okay, ding, 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 a grain neutral spirit, like a filler item. It's like, I don't know if I described it correctly. These blended whiskeys, whether it's Scotch, blended Scotch whiskey, blended Irish whiskey, blended Canadian whiskey, or American whiskey, a blend, they're using the same principle, okay? There's that bulk, corn, It's basically corn whiskey, or some people say vodka. But you know, vodka goes through all that, those many different filtrations, right? They might filter it 7 times. They got one over there. It's not platinum, it's some other one. Can't remember the name. They filter it 7 times through charcoal. See, you're not getting that with whiskey. It may not be filtered at all. The corn distillate. Corn distillate. It's just, and then they cut it with water. Okay, so that's just a filler. It doesn't have much flavor. It doesn't have much aroma. It has some, but it's practically none. And then your flavor's coming from that, like the globe, you know, the crust, the 20%, or in this case, the 51% straight bourbon. Okay, here is all whiskey. You know, this is all aged whiskey. It's not unaged neutral spirits. Doesn't mean it's going to be that, you know, flavorful though. Yeah, but you see, now the one blended whiskey I've had so far that really has depth of flavor that's a little shocking is the Beam's 8-star. It's only 80%. It's only 20% straight bourbon today. I have a place here that still has older bottles where it used to be 25% straight bourbon, but they changed it. That one tastes like regular bourbon, you know, the Beam's 8-star. It's kind of weird, and like you almost swear they're adding flavor into it, but they don't. I don't know, I can't explain it, but it seems unusual. It has depth of flavor when you wouldn't expect it. Now this one has depth of flavor. It's not like extraordinary, like, oh, it's so just exquisite. This is so exquisite. No, it's $10.79 a bottle, so it tastes kind of, you know, regular, but it doesn't taste bad. And it's probably on par with Jack Daniel's. Yet it's over half the price. So why would I buy Jack Daniel's? Answer, I wouldn't. I would not. I don't pay money for a name. Notice in my fridge, do I use a lot of standby beer? Yes. You say, there's Miller High Life. There's Natural Ice. There's Milwaukee's Best Ice. Whatever. Where's the Budweiser? I don't ever buy Budweiser to put in my fridge. I'm not paying 30% extra for a name. Sorry, not doing it. Now I pay extra for Miller Genuine Draft. Yes. But you're not buying a name there. You're buying a process. Or in Canada, you're buying a process. It's better than the High Life because it's cold filtered. So you don't mind paying $3 extra a 12-pack because you're getting $3 extra quality or flavor or betterness. But Jack Daniel's paying twice as much compared to the Speckled Tail? Nah. I can't wait to do the taste challenge there. I don't think they'll taste any different from each other. And go to Walmart. Every Speckled Tail bottle is always placed directly next to the Jack Daniel's Black Label Old No. 7. They know what they're doing. They're trying to entice people like myself to say, I wonder if this is a credible substitute item for Jack Daniel's. And as it turns out, it is. Now, you got some really cheapskate people who are like demented in a way. They're so cheap, they'll buy both. And then when they're finished with the Jack Daniel's, they'll buy another, you know, they'll pour. People do this. I would never do it. They'll pour the Speckled Tail in the Jack Daniel's bottle and cap it, you know, screw the cap back, and then have a party and say and try to defraud their own guests. You know, some people do that. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not insane. All right. Some viewers say, you are insane. I'm not insane. I don't hear voices or see things that aren't there or believe things that aren't true, like the CIA is writing a script for my videos. Okay. Well, well, well. Which one tastes better? Better. Which one tastes better? Oh, finally daylight is dawning. Hear those birds? Oh, I would say the Speckled Tail wins because it's got more flavor, more depth of flavor, more spiciness, a lot more rye spice, believe it or not. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to feel very embarrassed because I'm sitting there talking for 25 minutes about how Speckled Tail is this and that, and 10 High is this and that. And if I get them mixed up, I'm going to think I don't know anything about whiskey. I do know some things about whiskey. I don't know much. People say, that's obvious. I've watched your videos. Hey, but as time goes on, I'll learn more. One day, I'll be the great expert. People will come to me and sit down at my feet, cross-legged, and I'll be like a guru with a long beard, and I'll be talking about it. I guess that won't happen. Okay, the reveal. 10 High. Woo! And ST Speckled Tail, obviously. Well, okay, I got it. Well, I predicted I would get it because they're not too similar. They're not too similar. So you lose 10 High. Oh well. You win Speckled Tail. Boy, when it breeds, it really brings out a lot of character. I would highly recommend it. I mean, I really would highly recommend it. If you can go to Walmart or some other store, because it's not just a Walmart captive brand, by the way. If you can go to some other store and find Speckled Tail for $10.79, well, you know, I would highly recommend it because it is really a credible American whiskey / unofficial bourbon. And I don't think you can go wrong with it. I think that Caribbean distillers in Auburndale, Florida, from my first experience with them, they do a really good job. That's an up and coming company. I have another whiskey from them, a blended whiskey. It's called King Square, and it's apparently more widespread than I had first believed. But boy, is it pale. I can't wait for y'all to see that thing. That thing is so pale. All right, what's coming up next? Well, I'm going to upload a video now, a beer video, and then I didn't do any uploads yesterday. I went to Baton Rouge, and I was at baseball games. A game. I could have gone to 2 games. They played a doubleheader last night because they thought all this rain was coming in. Now they're saying, it's probably not going to rain. I'm glad I did not stay for the second game, considering it was an 8-1 rout. My team got beat like a drum the second game. They did win the series, though. They won 2 out of 3, so that's okay. But I drove to Baton Rouge on Old Baton Rouge Highway, and then I picked up later Old Hammond Highway, all the way to US 61. I went to Albertsons. Y'all want to see what I bought at Albertsons? People are like, yeah, no. I went to Albertsons in Baton Rouge, and then I couldn't help myself. I went to Albertsons in Hammond looking for beer, but I didn't buy any beer there. I bought beer at the Red, White, and Brew, some German beer, which I never heard about before. But I'll show you the whiskeys. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about the delay. I'm about to change, close, then go walk a half a mile, then go to Circle K to take care of a problem. Not a big problem. Then buy milk, and people will say, "Is this a vlog or a taste?" I know it's not a vlog. Okay, I don't watch vlogs. I'm not interested in people, they went ride their bike, and then they had to get their dog at the vet and all that. I mean, I don't know these people. Okay. 700 years ago, apparently, ABK, since 1308, is a brewing company. And this is Edel, Special beer, premium lager beer. Never heard of this in my life. I bought it at the Red, White, and Brew. 5.8% alcohol. Ooh, like a malt liquor. Malt liquor, always malt liquor. Bavarian purity law. Okay. ABK Betriebsgesellschaft der Aktienbrauerei Kaufbeuren. Oh my goodness. Germany, product of Germany. Batch code JC space BH space C space CJ. Now I like how they say store cool and dark. Yeah, well, Red, White, and Brew had the cool part down, but the dark, no, they had on the top shelf right in the light. Because that's what beer stores do. They not only ruin the beer, they leave it on the shelf for years. And then I drank it and it makes me throw up. Like with that German beer I had last year, that was a nightmare. Okay, so I'll go to Albertsons, right? Okay. Now, something you got to understand about Albertsons. They're not all the same. I mean, their prices are the same. So like if you see one price for a liquor, it's going to be the same price everywhere. That's coming from corporate headquarters. Okay, so that's the same. But their selection is not the same. Each store has their own stock. And Baton Rouge carries this stuff and Hammond does not. Look at this. Albertsons whiskey, a blend. Now, I have not seen this before. I've seen their brandy, which was very good, I might add. And their Canadian whiskey, a blend. You've seen that one from me. And they have gin and ham. I've never bought their gin. Albertsons American blended whiskey. It's a brown and gold bottle. Kind of a nice looking label. Interesting thing about this, 80 proof. Now, my father says, boy, I bet that's bad stuff. I said, how do you know that? Craft Beer Pour says, cheers. Cheers back to you, and thanks for watching. It says since 1939. That's actually true because Albertsons was established in 1939. Maybe not this liquor, haha. Matured in American oak. Okay, not new oak barrels, obviously. Interesting thing about this, no age statement anywhere. No age statement. What does that mean? That the straight whiskey in this is aged at least 4 years. Yeah, it's 80% grain neutral spirits. It says right there, 80% grain spirits. But it's the 20% straight whiskey is aged at least 4 years. So I have a feeling this is going to have a better flavor than I had first believed or expected from a blended whiskey. Distilled by County Line Distillers. Oh, bottled by them. Didn't say distilled by. Louisville, Kentucky. Like William Kepler always says, it's what the label doesn't say that tips you off. It says American blended whiskey. Doesn't say Kentucky blended. Okay, so right off the bat, we know that it's probably coming from across the river in Indiana. Midwest Grain Products. It's bottled in Kentucky, Louisville, at their major, huge Sazerac. It's County Line, that's Sazerac, people. Here's the code on the back. K13, that's 2013 Kentucky, 5 years old. 338. I like Sazerac because they got easy to understand codes. 338th day of 2013 in Kentucky, okay, at 12:33 in the afternoon. Okay, so there we go. Bottle's in good shape. You know how much this cost? $4.99. Yeah, you heard me right. $4.99. Can you get liquor cheaper than that? I doubt it. Maybe if you steal it. Okay, now we've got a bottle that's curiously similar in shape because it's that standard Sazerac bottle. And look at this. I bought this at Albertsons in Hammond. Okay. Drum Castle, imported Drum Castle barrel-aged Irish whiskey, master distilled. There's a Castle Keep. Okay, and then it says a blend of 100% Irish whiskey, mellowed in a combination. This is interesting. A combination of bourbon barrels and wine oak barrels for 3 years. So they're using bourbon and wine barrels. I guess they blend them after that. Elegant and smooth, product of Ireland, blended by master distillers of Irish whiskey, who they don't tell you who they are because Sazerac never tells you who does their stuff. Who does their Canadian whiskey? They'll never tell. Who does their Irish whiskey or their Scotch? They'll never tell you, because it's probably somebody like Diageo. You know what I mean? It's probably some big company. They don't want to pretend to be independent. I mean, they are independent in many ways, their ownership. Then there's a code that makes no sense. Now there's a tip-off on the bottle. It says 17C embossed on the bottles. 17C. So does that mean the third quarter of the year in 2017, perhaps? Like maybe, around August. I don't know. Now it's imported to the US, but it's bottled at, the Founders Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Sazerac. Yep. If you look at a lot of Scotch and Irish whiskey, be very careful to look at the label. Oftentimes they'll say bottled in America. They're imported from Scotland and Ireland, but they're bottled here. That's what makes them cheaper. They come over here in a big tanker, some kind of tank, and then they bottle them in New Jersey or in Kentucky. And apparently that saves a lot of money because they don't have to ship all these bottles across. So how about that? Craig Swinson. Hello, Craig. He says, my wife notices me watching your videos and said I should send you some local beers from here in New Hampshire. I told her you always tell your viewers not to do that. She doesn't believe me. Well, if she's awake right now at 8:15 a.m. Eastern time, here I am talking to you people right now. I always tell viewers not to send me beer because it's a big expense and a big hassle, okay? Don't send me beer. Now, some of them insist. Oh, no, I'm sending you something. I say, okay. And it's happened 2 or 3 times. They send me something. They say, you can't get it in your state. Forget it. I'll turn around a week later. There it is in the store. I say, you sent me something and it just showed up. Oh. I said, right. And I've got people sending me a $2 can of beer, and they're paying $18 to ship it. Why would you do that? I wouldn't do it. I did it one time, and I'm never doing it again. I paid so much money to ship that Dixie beer to Chris Krull, the beer master, the grill master, who doesn't even do videos anymore. He appreciated it. Then he sent me some beer, but I was like, Chris, I'm not paying this kind of money to do this. This is madness. This is insanity. And he agreed. So that was the end of that. I mean, there's so much you can try. I mean, I can just go to Mathern's each day and buy a can of beer or a bottle of beer. These days it's mostly cans, right? I'm never going to run out of stuff to review. It's almost like pointless. It's like there's 1,000 brands coming out every week. You can't review them all anyway. And everybody said, oh, look at this. I tried it. Oh, it's so good. Oh, boy, this one's okay. This one's kind of dull. I'll give this one an 86, right? That's what we watch. And then we watch them all. And then we say, I wish I could get that. And then you say, I wish I could get that. That's where we're at. This is where we are now. Okay. So the viewer might say, you're convincing me not to watch beer reviews, including yours. I mean, I can understand if you wouldn't, because it's like, the hamster running in the wheel. And you see the continuous comments. Ooh, I bet it's heavy. And then the other person says, no, it's not as heavy as you'd think. And the thing that cracks me up and other reviewers is the people wait in line. We wait in line 6 hours to get that. I say, wow, you must not have a lot to do. I wouldn't wait in line. But I mean, I'm not putting people down. I'm not putting people down for waiting in line 6 hours to, if that's what you like for enjoyment, that's not a problem. Okay. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it, but it's just comical, you know. But anyway, okay, so like we say, at the end of the day or at the end of the dawn, Speckled Tail beats 10 High. Not a great shock. A straight whiskey beating a blended. Not a shock. Okay. So Tuesday coming up, we don't know, but we hoping to do Speckled Tail against the venerable ancient age 80 proof bourbon whiskey, not the 90 proof. There is a 90 proof. There's also a 6-year aged ancient age, but no, this is the regular old cheap 3-year age ancient age, but it is straight bourbon whiskey. Straight, let me repeat, straight bourbon whiskey sour mash. That's going to be a real challenge. The Speckled Tail ain't going to go in there and just push them around, you know, throw ancient age around. Yeah, it threw around 10 High, but it ain't going to throw ancient age around like a dog. Oh, no, that'll be a challenge. Oh. And then we've got a bunch more coming up after that with Speckled Tail. Speckled Tail's been holding its own. Thanks for watching this video production.